What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jean-Jacques, and today we're taking a look at Beckett, the tactical shooter of Gigantic. A great hero for beginners and veterans alike. We'll take a look at two main builds that I use depending on the situation I'm in. I want to start off by saying that in Gigantic, many builds are viable and there are no real cookie cutter builds. The build you go for should depend on the enemies you're facing, the map you're playing on, and how the game is developing. So Beckett's role within the team is to put out a constant stream of damage using her machine pistols and rocket launcher. She can use her grenade's AoE abilities to damage, zone her enemies, or crack armor. She shines against an immobile clumped up team, with her grenades and rockets AoE damage when upgraded. She can also skirmish and duel, but she struggles against very quick opponents that are hard to hit and have no problem following her up to high ground. She has a great escape for when she's in trouble, but it's on a long cooldown, so if you get caught without it, good luck. You should always be behind your tanks or skirmish around on the high ground, and try and position yourself in such a way that you always have a good escape option with your jetpack. Now, my preferred maps to play Beckett on are Ghost Reef and Siren Strand, since enemies tend to clump up on these maps and Beckett's AoE abilities become really strong. Now let's take a look at the core upgrades that I take with each build. For the crit build, the three major upgrades are Precision, Sharpshooter, and Painfully Accurate. These will make sure your crit build's incredibly fast. Now if you are fighting an armor heavy team with characters like Margrave or Vadasi, who can give a lot of armor to her team, I go for an armor break and armor penetration build. The core choices here are Clip Service into APM and Crack Troops. The APM gives a percentage of armor penetration, so the more armor they have, the more it benefits you. That's why you only take this upgrade when the enemy has high armor values in their team. The Crack Troops removes 10 armor for 3 seconds in a radius and helps out your entire team. Now these are the two main routes, and after this things get really situational. So this section is in no particular order. Just make the decision on what to upgrade depend on what and who you are facing. Let's start with the talent upgrade. These are really up to your playstyle and personal preference. If I'm switching my weapons a lot, I'll go for Outgunned, but if you want more grenades, take Grenadier. The Ready to Jet is the weakest one, I think, since you should be managing your stamina anyway. So we've looked at the machine pistol upgrades for the two builds, so let's look at the grenade. Now even if you go for the crit build, it's still good to take Crack Troops. Then I tend to go Frag Grenade, since hitting more enemies means getting more value out of the grenade. Smart Grenade can be good, but you won't often hit an enemy dead on with the grenade, so then it becomes a wasted talent point. If you want a more AoE damage and zoning ability, you can go for Tear Gas. This can be especially good when they have a healer on their team, since poison reduces healing taken by 50%. The tier 2 choice is totally up to you, both are good. Now let's look at the cannon. There are basically one or two situations where I use Rocket Booster, and that's when I want to contest an Amani sniping from long range, or another Beckett or Voden that are on the high ground somewhere shooting from afar. In short range fights, I always go for Flame Cannon, mainly for the second tier blast radius. As I mentioned, Beckett is great in medium range clumped up fights, and this skill adds to that greatly. If you do have to contest long range heroes and you went for Rocket Booster, then take Arming Time, since you'll be making long range shots anyway. Now the jetpack is a totally personal thing. I switch this around constantly and it's really up to your playstyle. If you want a quick escape, go for Rocket Pack. If you don't need the escape, take Fuel Capacity into Jet Powered. Now for your F, regardless of whether I'm going for the Crack Armor build, I will take Precision, since this is a guaranteed game-long buff, whereas Will to Power only kicks in after you've used Focus, and of course disappears when you die. I then base a second tier decision on whether I'm in a lot of constant face-to-face team battles, or I'm more all over the place skirmishing. In that case I take Tactical Awareness. In team-to-team head-to-head battles, On Guard can be great since you can take more punishment from the front. Alright, that was quite a bit of information and I don't want to make these videos too long. So analyze your enemies and the situations you find yourself in and make your upgrading choices accordingly. Let me know what guide you would like to see next and what you thought about this video in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.
Victory is ours.